Hi, my name is Ben Putt. I'm one of the co-founders of Monogram Coffee, a barista competitor and coach, and I am the Stronghold Global Ambassador. Jumping on the S2 was really intuitive. Even though it is a smaller size than the other Stronghold roasters, the interface is the same, the controls are very familiar. So it felt natural just to be on this roaster again. And even if you haven't been on a Stronghold before, that intuitive design and use carries through the entire lineup. So jumping on an S2, it's going to feel familiar even if you haven't used the roaster before. First impression on the roaster, I love the way it's designed. I think it's really easy to use, and then the thing that really surprised me is just the quality of the roast coming out of it. It's an amazing sample roaster, but we've also adapted it to use it for competition, both for espresso and for filter.
So what we're going to do with this roast is for filter coffee, I really like shorter roasts, lots of energy, really vibrant first crack. So at the beginning of the roast, we use a lot of halogen and a lot of air. I'll start to step down the halogen over time just to make sure that we don't have any overdevelopments of the coffee. But the thing that the S2 excels at is fast roasts, high vibrancy, and high clarity, which is exactly what you want from filter coffee. Even though it's a small size, you can tell the build quality is really good. Every part of it feels really solid. It can produce amazing results. And even though it's small, it still has a ton of power. If I had to describe the S2 in 3 words, I would say innovation, quality, and consistency. The ability to plug in the S2 with just a single power plug, which you can carry it almost anywhere around the globe, was amazing. I can put it in the front of our lab, I can put it in the back of the roastery. It's very easy to have a roaster where you don't have to plan ahead, where you actually have to place it. This machine has changed how we roast coffee. We are able to do both sample and filter roasts on it. It's very adaptable, even in batch size. So suddenly we have a lot more freedom for what we can do with the machine and what we want to put out in the cafes and on our sample roasting tables. The biggest differences we taste in heat delivery and cup quality comes down to clarity. Often I find that a sample roaster might not give you all the clarity you want in the cup, and sometimes they change a lot as the roast ages. We find that we can cup roasts straight out of the drum and they taste amazing, but also as we let those coffees age and develop, you still have that clarity and that cup quality.
What we found with more air-based roasters like the S2 is that the roast is so clean and you can cup it straight out of the drum. For all the comps that we've done, be it brewer's cup or barista, we roast the coffee, we taste it of the drum, make sure that it tastes good, but usually there's a big connection between the flavors you taste when it comes straight out of the drum and the flavors that you'll taste on stage. It makes it much easier to profile. There's no guesswork on how the coffee will age, how it's going to degas. What you taste when it comes out of the roaster is pretty close to what you're going to taste when you're serving that coffee on stage.
We were able to hit our profiles right away on this roaster. The goals for our targets, all those were easy to achieve, which is very, very key to make sure that you can use the roaster in the way that you want, and the results have been really good. The cup quality coming out of this roaster definitely surprised us. I think often you don't know what you're going to get with a new roaster, but there's tons of clarity, there's lots of vibrancy because the roaster has so much power and it uses so much air. And we are really happy with the coffee that we get both on the sample roast side and using it for filter or espresso applications. I think that the clarity and the acidity on this roaster are really, really good because it's so efficient at transferring heat. The way it uses air, the way it uses halogen, you can have these short roasts because you know that the energy that the roaster is producing is going to the right places. It's going to the coffee, and that's going to give you better clarity and better flavor. After hundreds of roasts on this roaster, I feel confident that it can produce almost anything you want. It's not just a sample roaster, it's not just a filter roaster, it's not just an espresso roaster. It can do all of these things. It can do many different batch sizes, many different environments. It's such a great roaster to start on. It's also such a great roaster to add to your lineup when you need something at this size and this quality level.